All right, this is Randy back in the shop today, and as you can see, I have Oldsmobile pistons. So what I'm working on today is boring the block, and then I can hone it, and then I can start doing some more mock-up procedure on it. I already measured all the pistons for size, and what I wanted to point out is with your micrometer, every time you use your micrometer, check it with the standard. Even though nothing's happened, supposedly, or whatever, a little bit of temperature difference makes a difference on your size reading. And when you go to clean your micrometer points, like a 1-inch micrometer, just lightly clamp down on a piece of paper and pull it through. But what I do is I take a piece of paper with my finger and I'll just rub across it to make sure there's no dirt on there, like that. And I'll do the same thing with the standard. I'll just rub across it to make sure there's no dirt on it, and then I'll check it to make sure my mic is calibrated. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring you over to the block because I'm in process of boring the cylinders on it, and I'll get the camera set up and you can see me bore the last 3 holes on that, and then it'll be off to the machine shop to get honed, and then I'll pick it up and I'll assemble a couple rods and pistons and check deck height on the block. Make sure that I usually want to set the piston about 3 thousandths in the hole. So I'll check that, and the block I'll have to go back to get decked, and then can finish doing the rest of the mock-up on it. Check piston, the valve clearance, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll meet you back over at the block in just a minute. One other thing I wanted to point out, this is your setting tool here. It's made by Starrett for Van Orman, and how you set your cutters is you put your cutter in the holder like this here, and you set your micrometer. That tells you what what bore size it is. I actually got 2 cutters set up. I'm taking, it's 30 over. The pistons are 30 over. Stock bore is 4-inch 125, so it's going to be 4-inch 155. And I have 2 cutters set up. This one here is taken out about 15 thousandths, and the last cutter I have set here, when the bore is finished with this cutter here, there's about 6 thousandths to hone. So I just wanted to explain that, how that works, and I'll see you back over at the block. All right, over at the block here now with the boring bar, and how this works is you lower this down in the cylinder bore like that there. And this has what they call cat's paws. There's 4 of them, and you lower those down in the bore, and then you crank the cat's paws out, and that centers the bar on the bore. You could see the boring bar moving. So a little bit of a swivel back and forth here. Check it again. Yep, that's good. And there's a locking mechanism around the back. I have to put on. Get that on back here. Let me swing you around the back here a second. There's a little locking pin that goes up. There's a bar that's running through the mains that holds that there. Then what you do is you have this clamp fixture here. This runs up on there. I gotta get underneath here so I can hold that. There we go. There we go. Like that. And you tighten this down. You don't need to be super tight, but you don't want your bar moving either. So there we go. Okay. Well, the machine is all fastened down to the top of the block now, and I'll get a cutter and I'll install a cutter. All right, you wind your cat's paws back in and retract it up out of the bore. And there's a little cavity right here, part of the boring bar that holds your cutter. I always take a little brush and brush through that hole like that. Here's your cutter, and it just simply installs like that until it snaps in place. Just like that. And lower this down a little bit here. Start your machine up. Engage your feed. And away we go. Once your cat's paws are down into the block ways, you want to crank them out to help support the boring bar as it's going down your cylinder. Like that there. this machine has got a little stop rod on it here with a little lever that when it gets down to the bottom of the borer, it pushes this over and turns the machine off, and you see the cylinder at the bottom. Just about to the bottom of the cylinder, you'll hear the cutter stop cutting when you're at the bottom. Just like that there. Now it's going to shut off. Voila, just like that. And your first cut on your cylinder is done. I'll be right back. All right, got my second cutter here. Got that pushed in there. Lower this down a little bit here. Start the machine up. Engage your feed. I was getting ready to crank our catch claws back out against the cylinder. Got that there. Put a little tension on them and let it cut. And when it gets to the bottom of the bore, the machine will shut off. You retract the catch claws and crank it back up. What I always like to do too is take a little brush, just brush the chips away as I'm retracting the boring bar up out of the cylinder. And the other thing that you have to remember is at the top here you have a ring with this little notch. That little notch is where your cutter is actually facing. You always want that to the front, and that way your cutter does not rub the cylinder wall as you're bringing it back up out of the bore like this. Got my cat's paws retracted. Give that a little brush off here, and there's a little tool that hooks on, that you hook onto, and pull the cutter up out of the out of the machine. It's a little ring with a hook on the end of it here. You hook into it right here, and it pops right out, just like that. I'm going to go get the other cutter and do the second pass in that cylinder, and then that cylinder will be done. All right, got my second cutter here. Got that pushed in there. Lower this down a little bit here. Start the machine up. And Engage your feed. We're getting ready to crank our catch claws back out against the cylinder. Like that there. Put a little tension on them and let it cut. And when it gets to the bottom of the board, the machine will shut off. You retract the catch claws and crank it back up. Well, there you have it. The block's all bored. Next thing, I'll load this up in my truck and take it to the machine shop to have them hone it. And I set up a bore gauge here. And as you can see, I left them about 5.5 thousandths to hone. That one there, they got 6, but that could be, you know, from a little bit of tool wear or whatever. But they're all really close. So, and the finish is excellent. So, as you can see there, so. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Got to see the boring bar in action. That boring bar was made in '64. So good machines, if you take care of them, why, they don't ever wear out really. So I'm going to box up these pistons. I'm going to close up this box, and I'm going to load up my truck, put the block in the back, and take it to the machine shop, and they'll hone it for me to size. And that's going to be it. And I'll continue to bring you along for the rest of the build on this Oldsmobile 455 as it progresses. And hope everybody's doing good and staying warm. And it's pretty warm here today. It's like 33, 34 degrees, and all the snow is melting. So anyway, I'm going to call it good for this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.